I think we could live in Florida. I like it. I don't do sun very well, though. I'm not a sunbather. I used to do it. I used to try to get tan on purpose. I learned if you're going to lay out and you're starting to put a little weight on in the middle, lay flat. Because I sat up in a chair all day one time and got roasted and went in that night, checked out my tan. I looked like I've been sunbathing in a Venetian blind. Have you ever done that? It's not sexy. It's not, and you know, look, the sad part is that's probably close as I'll ever come to having abs. You know what? We got a new president. Dang. I know. Some people are happy. Some people are in mourning. That's okay, man. I just want us to all be together. I don't want us to be so divided. I don't like that. Like when I was growing up, my parents were, one was a registered Democrat and one was a registered Republican. And they got along just fine. And I never knew which one was which either. They didn't talk about it. They didn't discuss it. They didn't force their kids to think the way they thought. They let us make our own decisions, you know? And I really never did find out which one was which, except my dad had a bumper sticker on his car that said, "Commit random acts of kindness and senseless beauty." Right? And my mom had one that said, "Kill them all, let God sort them out." So, no. Yeah. Y'all got kids, grandkids? Everybody's breeding. Everybody's breeding but me. I never got around to it. I kept saying someday, 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 and now it's too late. I can't even keep up with a pocketbook. What am I going to do with a baby? I'll put it down and forget where I left it, you know? That's what would happen. I have to microchip it. And I know we could have adopted some. People do that all the time, you know. I asked my husband one time, I said, "What you think about adoption?" He goes, "Well, now that you mention it, I have had my eye on a 19-year-old Korean girl." I was like, "Ease up, Woody Allen." Thank you for knowing who Woody Allen is. I knew this crowd would know. I knew this crowd would know. I'm adopted. Is anybody in here adopted kids? Anybody? Are you really? Who else? Anybody? You are? Isn't that the neatest thing? That's so special because you were picked. You were chosen, man. Adoptive parents, back when I was adopted, had to go through a lot of rigorous screening and they had to make sure everything was good. And yeah, I'm a rescue. I think that's a rescue. Yeah. Well, hey, when you get a dog, what is the first thing people ask? Is it a rescue? Adopt, don't shop. And then when it misbehaves, you can blame it on that. So my dad would get hauled into the principal's office and he'd be like, "Well, I'm sorry she bit you, but you know, we found her next to a dumpster." And I got to tell you this, actually, this month, November, is National Adoption Awareness Month, coincidentally. And I have actually found my birth mother. And I met her 2 months ago for the very first time in my whole life. Yep. And for those of you that are not adopted and you've always known where you came from, I realize it's not as big of a deal, but I've never known my medical history. And I went to a checkup a couple of weeks after I had met her, and I texted her, and I said, "I just want you to know that I went to the doctor today, and for the first time in 56 years, I could check all the boxes about my medical." Isn't that the coolest? Yeah. So I know this stuff now. And she's tall, too. I'm 6'2". She's 5'9". So that was where I knew she's a tall heifer. I knew she was. And I had great adoptive parents. Don't get me wrong, man. My dad was a life deacon and my mom was a pastor's secretary. I mean, I shouldn't even be doing this. I should have a real job. That's right. Being adopted can be absolutely awesome, okay? Except now, sometimes my husband and I will be in the bed and he'll be like, "Who's your daddy?" I'm like, "I don't know. Stop asking me stuff." Thank you, Sarasota. My name's Julie Scoggins. Good night.